My beloved child, slow down for a moment and listen carefully to the voice speaking deep within your soul. I know you are tired. I know there are nights when you smile in front of others, yet silently break apart when no one is around. I have seen the tears you wiped away quickly so nobody would ask questions. I have heard the prayers you whispered into the darkness, wondering if anyone in heaven was truly listening. I was listening the entire time. There was never a moment when I abandoned you. Even in the silence, I was beside you. Even when the world made you feel invisible, I still saw your heart clearly. I saw the battles you never told anyone about. I saw the fear you carried behind your confidence. I saw the loneliness hidden beneath your laughter. You kept asking, why is my life so heavy? But my child, the weight you carried was never meant to destroy you. It was shaping you. Every painful season was preparing your spirit for something greater than you can currently understand. The doors that closed were not punishment. The people who walked away were not always losses. Some endings were actually protection. There are things I removed because they would have broken your future. There were paths you wanted desperately, but I saw where those roads would lead. While you cried over what disappeared, I was saving you from pain you could not yet see. You thought I was delaying your blessings, but I was protecting your soul. My child, you have spent too much time doubting yourself. Too much time believing the lies fear whispered into your mind. Fear told you that you are not enough. Fear told you it is too late. Fear told you that your mistakes disqualified you from purpose. But fear has never spoken the truth about you. I created you with value long before the world placed labels upon you. Your failures did not cancel your destiny. Your scars did not make you unworthy. Even now, after everything you have been through, there is still a calling upon your life. That emptiness you feel inside cannot be filled by temporary things, not by attention, not by money, not by success, not by the approval of people who do not even understand your heart. Your spirit is searching for peace that only heaven can give. And this is why I am calling you now. Stop running toward distractions that leave your soul exhausted. Stop pretending you are fine while your heart quietly cries for healing. Stop delaying the change you know must happen. You keep saying, one day I will change. One day I will come closer to God. One day I will let go of the past. But my beloved, someday is not promised. Time moves faster than you realize. The seasons of life do not wait forever. Opportunities close. Moments disappear. Hearts grow cold when they continuously ignore the truth. This is why you feel such urgency inside yourself lately. Your spirit knows that something must change. I am not speaking to condemn you. I am speaking to awaken you. There are chains you have carried for too long: bitterness, fear, regret, hidden pain, silent anger. You learned to survive with those chains, but you were never meant to live bound by them. You cannot walk into a new season while dragging old wounds behind you. Forgive those who hurt you, not because they deserved it, but because your heart deserves freedom. Release the guilt that keeps replaying inside your mind. I have seen every mistake, and still I have not turned away from you. My child, listen carefully. You are not too broken for restoration. You are not too lost for mercy. You are not too far gone for grace. I know there were moments when you almost gave up completely. Moments when you felt emotionally numb. Moments when you questioned whether your life even mattered. But you survived for a reason. Heaven kept you alive because your story is not over. The enemy wanted your pain to convince you that you were forgotten. But I was carrying you through every storm. When anxiety stole your sleep, I stayed beside you. When depression whispered hopelessness into your spirit, I continued breathing strength back into your soul. You are still here because I refuse to let darkness destroy you. Now I need you to make a decision. Will you continue living the same cycle? Or will you finally surrender the weight you were never meant to carry alone? I know change feels frightening. I know stepping into the unknown makes your heart tremble. But faith begins where fear loses control. You do not need to understand the entire path before taking the first step. Just trust me enough to move forward. There is a new season waiting for you. A season of healing. A season of restoration. A season where your tears will no longer define your future. But you cannot enter that season while holding on to everything that is poisoning your spirit. Let go of the voices that constantly tell you are worthless. Let go of the habits that slowly destroy your peace. Let go of the relationships that pull you away from your purpose. Let go of the fear that keeps you frozen. You were created for more than survival. You were created to live with purpose. And even now, after every disappointment and every failure, I still believe in the person you are becoming. So tonight, stop fighting this call inside your heart. Stop pretending you do not hear my voice. This moment is not an accident. I brought you here because your soul needed this reminder. You are loved. You are seen. You are chosen. And it is not too late to begin again. There are wounds inside you that nobody truly knows about. Hidden places in your heart that you learned to cover with silence because explaining the pain became too exhausting. You kept telling people you were okay because you feared that if they saw how broken you really felt, they would leave too. But I never left. Even during the nights when your thoughts became your greatest enemy, I stayed beside you. I watched you battle memories that still haunt your spirit. I saw the disappointment in your eyes when life did not unfold the way you hoped. I heard every silent question buried deep inside your soul. Why did this happen to me? Why do I still feel empty? Why does it seem like everyone else is moving forward while I remain stuck? My beloved child, you have misunderstood your season. You believed you were forgotten, but you were actually being prepared. You thought the delays meant rejection, but many of those delays were protection. If I had given you everything you asked for immediately, some blessings would have destroyed you instead of helping you. You wanted quick answers, but I was building lasting strength inside you. The pain changed you, didn't nut it. It made you more guarded, more cautious, more afraid to trust. You began expecting disappointment before hope even had a chance to grow. You built emotional walls around your heart because betrayal taught you to fear vulnerability. Some people promised they would stay forever, yet they disappeared when you needed them most. And after enough heartbreak, you started believing that everyone eventually leaves. But listen carefully to me now. Human failure is not proof of divine abandonment. People may walk away. People may misunderstand you. People may fail to love you correctly. But my love does not shift with emotions or circumstances. I have loved you on your strongest days and your weakest nights. I loved you when you prayed faithfully. I loved you when you doubted me. I loved you even when you tried to run from your calling. Nothing about your brokenness scares me. In fact, some of the most beautiful transformations begin in the deepest valleys. A seed must first be buried before it grows, and many times, the old version of you must break apart before the stronger version can rise. That is why this season felt so painful. You thought your life was falling apart. but many things were actually falling into place beyond your understanding. I was removing distractions. I was exposing hidden weaknesses. I was separating you from environments that could no longer carry your future. My child, not everyone who started the journey with you is meant to enter the next chapter beside you. Some relationships were only temporary lessons. Some connections were assignments, not permanent destinations. And some people had to leave so you could finally hear my voice clearly again. You cried over closed doors without realizing I was protecting your peace. You begged me to keep certain people in your life, but I saw the damage they would eventually cause to your spirit. I heard conversations you never heard. I saw intentions you never recognized. I watched dangers approaching long before you noticed them. And because I love you, I intervened. Not every loss was destruction. Some losses were rescue missions from heaven. But pain has a way of blinding people. When your heart hurts long enough, you begin believing that suffering is your identity. You start expecting rejection everywhere. You become uncomfortable with hope because disappointment feels more familiar. And slowly, fear begins controlling your decisions. Fear told you not to trust again. Fear told you not to dream again. Fear told you to stay hidden where nobody could hurt you. But isolation is not healing. You cannot fully live while constantly protecting yourself from every possible wound. I did not create you to survive in emotional prisons. I created you to walk in freedom. Yes, people hurt you. Yes, betrayal changed parts of you. Yes, some memories still achy. But your pain is not the final chapter of your story. There is still healing ahead of you. There is still joy waiting for you. There is still purpose attached to your life. The enemy tried to convince you that your best days already passed, but that is a lie. Your story is still unfolding, and what feels like an ending right now may become the very thing that leads you into your breakthrough. Do not underestimate what I can rebuild. I restore hearts people thought would never recover. I breathe life into dreams that seemed dead. I create beauty from ashes every single day. But there is something you must understand. Healing requires surrender. You cannot heal while constantly reopening old wounds. You cannot move forward while chained to bitterness. You cannot hear my voice clearly while drowning in endless distractions. My child, look honestly at your life. How much time have you spent feeding your fears? How many nights have you replayed painful memories until they consumed your peace? How often have you searched for comfort in temporary things instead of bringing your pain to me? The world offers many distractions, but very little healing. You try to numb the emptiness with noise, scrolling endlessly through things that never truly satisfy your soul. You surround yourself with constant stimulation because silence forces you to confront what still hurts inside. But healing begins when you stop running. Healing begins when you finally allow yourself to be honest about your pain, not hiding it, not pretending it no longer affects you, not masking it behind fake strength. Real healing begins with surrender. Bring me your anxiety. Bring me your exhaustion. Bring me your hidden shame. Bring me the guilt you secretly carry. Bring me the disappointments you buried deep inside yourself. I am not asking you to fix yourself before coming closer to me. Come as you are. Even now, while reading these words, there is a battle happening inside your heart. One part of you wants to believe again. One part of you longs for peace. One part of you desperately wants freedom from this emotional weight. But another part still fears disappointment. I understand that fear. I know what betrayal did to your trust. I know life made you cautious. Yet I am asking you to trust me again. Not because the future will be easy, but because you were never meant to carry life alone. The strength you need will not come from pretending to be strong all the time. True strength comes from surrendering your weakness into my hands. You have cried enough hidden tears. You have fought enough silent battles. You have carried enough invisible burdens. Now let me carry you for a while. Rest your exhausted spirit in my presence. Stop striving endlessly for validation from people who cannot heal your soul. Stop measuring your worth by how others treat you. Your value has never depended on human approval. You are valuable because I created you intentionally. You are loved because my heart chose you long before the world knew your name. You are worthy of healing, peace, and restoration. And I need you to hear this clearly tonight. The season ahead of you will not look like the season behind you. The darkness you survived was not meaningless. The suffering did not destroy you. It refined you. One day, you will look back at this painful chapter and realize it was preparing you for a level of strength, wisdom, and spiritual depth you could not have gained any other way. Nothing you endured was wasted. Every tear taught compassion. Every disappointment built endurance. Every lonely night deepened your ability to hear my voice. You thought you were being abandoned, but heaven was quietly rebuilding you from the inside out. So stop speaking death over your future. Stop calling yourself broken beyond repair. Stop believing the lie that nothing will ever change. I am already working in places you cannot see. The doors opening ahead of you will not require you to beg endlessly for acceptance. The right people will recognize your heart. The right opportunities will align at the proper time. The peace you have been searching for will finally begin settling inside your soul. But first, you must let go of the old weight. Release the bitterness. Release the fear. Release the guilt. Release the constant need to control everything. You are not alone anymore. I have walked with you through every storm so far, and I will not abandon you now. Even in this moment, while tears may be forming in your eyes, I want you to remember something very important. Your life still has purpose. Your heart can still heal, and your future is still filled with hope. My beloved child, the moment has now arrived where everything depends on your decision. You have heard my voice calling to you through the pain, through the loneliness, through the countless nights where your soul felt restless and weary. But now you stand at a crossroads. One path leads back into the same cycles that have drained your spirit for years. The other path leads into transformation, healing, and the future I have been preparing for you all along. You cannot remain between both worlds anymore. For too long you tried to hold on to me while also holding on to fear. You wanted peace while still feeding anxiety. You asked for freedom while secretly clinging to habits and thoughts that kept you bound. But now I am asking you to surrender completely. Not halfway. Not someday. Now. There are things in your life that cannot follow you into your next season. Some mindsets must die. Some attachments must break. Some distractions must be removed completely because they are slowly suffocating your spirit. You already know what those things are. There are habits you continue returning to even though they leave you empty afterward. There are voices you keep listening to even though they fill your mind with doubt and insecurity. There are environments draining your peace, relationships weakening your spirit, and secret battles consuming your energy. And still, I have not given up on you. Even after every mistake, every delay, every moment you ignored my direction, my mercy continued reaching toward you. Not because I approve of everything that hurt you, but because my love is greater than your failures. Yet love also speaks truth. And the truth is this: you cannot step into your calling while remaining chained to the things destroying your peace. The future you are praying for requires a different version of you, a healed version, a surrendered version, a courageous version that no longer allows fear to make every decision. My child, fear has stolen enough from you already. Fear stole opportunities because you doubted yourself. Fear stole joy because you constantly expected disaster. Fear stole peace because your mind never stopped worrying about tomorrow. But fear was never meant to sit on the throne of your life. I did not create you to live trapped inside survival mode forever. I created you to walk with confidence, knowing that even when life becomes uncertain, you are still held safely in my hands. Listen carefully now. You do not need to know every detail about the future before taking the next step. Faith begins with trust, and trust often begins in uncertainty. The enemy wants you frozen. He wants you constantly overthinking, constantly hesitating, constantly waiting for the perfect moment that never arrives. Because as long as you remain paralyzed by fear, you never fully become who you were created to be. But tonight, something is shifting. The chains that once controlled your thinking are beginning to break. The heaviness you carried for so long is losing its power over you. You may not fully see it yet, but heaven has already started moving things into place for your next chapter. Doors are opening. New connections are forming. Opportunities are approaching. Healing is beginning. And all of it starts with surrender. Surrender is not weakness. It is trust. When you finally release what you cannot control, you make room for me to do what only I can do. So stop trying to carry tomorrow on your shoulders. Stop exhausting yourself trying to fix everything alone. Bring your fears to me. Bring your confusion to me. Bring your uncertain future to me. I already know the road ahead, and I promise you this: you are not walking into it alone. There will still be challenges. There will still be moments when your faith is tested, but you will no longer face those moments as the same broken person who once believed they were abandoned. Because now you know the truth. I was with you the entire time. I was with you in the heartbreak. I was with you in the waiting. I was with you when nobody checked on you. I was with you when anxiety kept you awake at night. I was with you when you smiled publicly but silently cried in private. And if I carried you through all of that, do not doubt that I can carry you into something better. The season ahead will require courage from you. Not perfection. Courage. Courage to let go of the past. Courage to forgive people who never apologized. Courage to believe in yourself again after disappointment. Courage to trust that your future can still be beautiful even after everything you survived. My child, you are not disqualified because of your scars. In many ways, your scars became proof that you endured battles that should have destroyed you, yet you are still standing. That is not weakness. That is evidence of grace. One day, the pain you survived will become part of someone else's healing. The story you once felt ashamed of will inspire another broken soul not to give up. Nothing you endured was meaningless. Even this season of confusion had purpose. It taught you that temporary things cannot replace eternal peace. It taught you that people cannot carry the weight only heaven can carry. It taught you that success without inner peace still leaves the soul empty. And now, after everything, you are finally beginning to understand where true healing comes from. Not from pretending, not from escaping, not from distractions. Healing comes from surrendering your heart completely into my hands. So tonight, stop running from this moment. Stop silencing the voice inside you that knows change is necessary. Stop convincing yourself that you still have endless time to delay your healing, your purpose, your obedience, your transformation. This is your turning point. The old chapter is ending. The endless cycles are breaking. The version of you that lived trapped in fear is beginning to fade away. And a stronger version is rising now. A version of you that chooses peace over chows. A version of you that no longer bows to fear. A version of you that trusts me even when life feels uncertain. A version of you that finally understands how deeply loved you truly are. Do not go backward now. You have cried too many tears to return to the same darkness that nearly destroyed you. You have survived too much to continue settling for emotional chains and spiritual exhaustion. Lift your head again. Your story is not ending in failure. Your future is not buried in your past mistakes. Your heart is not too damaged to heal. There is still beauty ahead of you. There is still purpose ahead of you. There is still joy waiting for you. And one day, sooner than you realize, you will look back on this painful season and understand that heaven was never punishing you. Heaven was preparing you, preparing your spirit, preparing your strength, preparing your heart for the life that is waiting beyond this moment of surrender. So breathe again, my child. Hope again. Trust again. Because the same God who carried you through the darkest nights of your life is about to lead you into a brand new beginning.